Okay, so good morning po sa lahat. Ayan, so we're still 28 in this live stream. So kindly check po or kindly sabihan po natin yung ating mga kasamahan sa school na mag-nood na ng ating live stream sa YouTube. Ayan, so we are about to start, Sir Paulo. Good morning.
Good morning, Ma'am Kat, and good morning sa ating 28,000 and 29,000 still counting na viewers, no? So just like yesterday, we suggest po to send the link of our YouTube live to your teachers po na available at wala pa pong klase sa mga oras na to para makapakinig din po sila. At first-hand information yung makuha nila with regards po sa technical assistance on SBM po.
Yes po. So before that po, let's just have a gentle reminder po for all. So again, make sure po na nasa spot tayo or area na meron tayong internet or stable internet connection to avoid disruptions po habang nagdi-discuss po ang ating magaling na resource speaker. Next po, if you have any questions na pertaining sa ating topic, kindly chat it po sa ating chat box or comment box for us to note it down and we'll ask it later on po pagtapos po ng ating speaker. And lastly po, we have an evaluation. We didn't able to give you po the evaluation link yesterday since we have a continuation po today. Okay po, so sit in with us po until the end. So before we start, Sir Paulo, let us have our opening prayer.
Lord, may nothing separate me from you today. Teach me how to choose only your way today, so each step will lead me closer to you. Help me walk by the word and not my feelings. Help me to keep my heart pure and undivided. Protect me from my own careless thoughts, words, and actions. And keep me from being distracted by my wants, my desires, my thoughts on how things should be. Help me to embrace what comes my way as an opportunity rather than a personal inconvenience. And finally, help me to rest in the truth of Psalm 86:13. Great is your love toward me. You already see the ways I will fall short and mess up, but right now, I consciously tuck your whisper of absolute love for me into the deepest part of my heart. I recognize your love for me is not based on my performance. You love me, warts and all. That's amazing. But what's most amazing is that the Savior of the world would desire a few minutes with me this morning. Lord, help me to forever remember what a gift it is to sit with you like this. Amen. Lord,
Okay.
Now we're back.
We're back po. So, ayan, nasa 43,000 na tayo, Sir Pao. So, basa-basa muna tayo ng mga morning greetings from our audience today. So, ayan.
Early bird natin, talagang mga early bird sila. From Flor, siya yung unang-unang morning greeter natin. Ma'am Flor Nalasco. Good morning din po, Ma'am Flor Nalasco.
Ayan, good morning po. Ayan, sila Ma'am Presi, Ma'am Jonah, Ma'am Evie. Good morning po sa lahat. Ayan.
Ma'am Ella rin Parian watching with Ma'am Christy Marano and Ma'am Malincha. Hello po.
Ayan, si Sir Alson.
Hi, Doc. Happy birthday po.
Ayan, happy birthday, Doc. And then si Ma'am Ruby, si Ma'am Susan, Ma'am Irma, Ma'am Leida, Sir Lawrence. Good morning po sa lahat.
Hello po, Ma'am. Ayan, si Ma'am Elaine. Hello po, Ma'am Elaine. Good morning po. Ma'am Janet at Shensa.
Ayan, so make sure po to send us your greetings para po makita namin kung sino-sino ba tayong magkakasama today in this webinar po.
So we have 28 schools. So we're expecting po 28 school heads and together with their SBM coordinators and the available teachers po na medyo wala pong klase at pwede pong makapanood po sa atin.
Yes
Thank you
po.
po.
Opo, and we have 52. We expect po nasa 100 plus tayo kasi kahapon po we reached that 100 million matter. So, ayan. So, good morning po sa lahat and just keep those greetings coming. Okay, Sir Pao, ano bang medyo nagkaroon tayo ng technical difficulties and ano. Ayan
Hello po.
po. Okay ba yung audio
Okay po
natin?
ba yung audio namin? Wait lang po.
Wait lang po check lang namin yung audio.
So, we hope you can hear us po. We've been saying so many things po and your greetings po and comments. But, yan, okay naman. So, yan.
Ayan, okay naman. Good po. So, hear that? Okay? So, ayun nga, kagaya nga na sinabi natin, Sir Pao, medyo nagkaroon lang tayo ng mga technical problems po. Pero it doesn't mean that we will stop there. Diba, Sir Pao?
Yes, tama po, Ma'am Kat. So yesterday, we had the first two principles from Miss Mabel na mamaya ipag-continue po niya yung last two principles po ng SBF. But of course, we had the first session po with Dr. Michael Gerard Alba with regards to the tuning, the operationalization of school-based management in the better normal. So since we're in the new normal, so we're not just pertaining it as new normal, but better normal. Because of course, we're living in this, sabi nga, VUCA world. Kaya kailangan mag-adapt tayo kung ano man yung changes and make it better.
So, lahat naman ng teachers and school heads and teaching and non-teaching personnel ay flexible sa
Yes.
Yes, Sir Pao.
At ako, nung last time na attend ko na face-to-face pa with regards to SBM ay revitalizing pa yung ito na ginamit doon. Pero ngayon, retuning na tayo and in the new normal or better normal. And then yung second session ni Sir na intensifying school governing council. So naintindihan natin, mas naintindihan natin yung importance ng SGC sa ating school-based management.
Yes, Sir Pao. And then, of course, hinarap din tayo ni Sir Eugene Adraw with his topic. Ayun. So, SBM under the new normal. Okay, so we discussed things about that po.
So talagang kailangan maintindihan natin kung paano ba tayo gagalaw sa school with regards to our management ngayon na nasa new normal and make it better. So, and yun na nga, si Ma'am Mabel, nagkaroon lang tayo ng konting problema with regards to the power supply. But rest assured naman po that everything that will be discussed today will still matter. And kung ano man po yung ating naintindihan kahapon sa discussion niya sa first two principles. Actually, after po nung ating webinar kahapon, we had our faculty meeting po sa SciTech. So marami po kaming napag-usapan doon na mas makakatulong. And I know in other schools, ganun din po yung ginawa ninyo or gagawin po ninyo.
Yes po, Sir Pao. So, ayan, huwag na nating patagalin pa. I know excited na rin yung ating mga audience for today para makinig sa ating resource speaker for the principle 3 and 4. So, without further ado, we will now call on again our Education Program Supervisor in SGOD, Ma'am Maricel Sagintin. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
Okay, good morning again, everyone. So this will be our second day series of webinars on technical assistance in the new normal. So I'm glad to hear that Miss Mabel connection is already okay. So now, without further ado, let us all welcome again the Education Program Supervisors from the Regional Field Technical Assistance Division, none other than Dr. Andrea Mabel E. Abrancilio, to continue that discussion. Hello, ma'am. Miss Mabel, nakamute po kayo.
Yes. Yan.
Good morning once again, Ma'am Mabel. We are glad to see you
Hello. Yan.
again.
Good morning, everyone, and I'm so happy to be back. Sorry
Yes,
for the inconvenience that what had happened yesterday. It's really because of the power supply. We had an power interruption, and thank you, Ma'am Maricel, for sending me the news. Kasi kahapon, stress na stress talaga ako. From my place, from here in Pleasantville, we are here in Pleasantville subdivision. I have to go to another subdivision to look for the current, but it so happened, yung pala, buong Lucena City and nearby the Quezon province.
yes
So,
po.
that's
Yes
what,
po, Miss
what
Mabel.
really
I really
happened.
understand that po.
Mm-mm.
Well,
Yung
anyway,
tinatawag,
your compassion is there. I know that po.
yeah. Alam nyo naman, na pagtrabaho, trabaho talaga tayo. But,
Yes.
it so happen na mabait talaga sa atin si Lord. Wala tayong activity for this morning. Kaya siguro yung continuation, eto na. Yan,
God
okay.
is
So
really
then,
good.
yes, God is good. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. So I
Yeah.
will be sharing my screen now. Ayan. Is it working? Have you seen my slide, ma'am? Hello?
Hello, Miss Mabel.
Yes. Have you seen my
Hindi ko pa po
slide?
nakikita yung slide nyo, Miss Mabel.
Wala pa? Okay, again. Ulitin uli natin.
Okay po.
Okay. ICT, please help me. Ba't ayaw niyo mag-share? Sige, ICT, please. Screen sharing.
Yes, let us wait for that, Miss Ma'am Mabel.
Ayan.
Yeah.
Ay, ma'am. Ma'am, pwedeng share nyo na lang po sa akin slide. Ako na lang po mag-present.
Sir, ano ka? Kasi ang discussion ko, di ba, pabalik-balik? Oo. Dapat diretso ko. Teka lang. Di ba, napindot ko na, sir, yung box na naka-arrow up. Tapos, nandun na lumabas dito yung screen sharing tips. Sir.
Sir Jason.
Okay po, ma'am. Balik-click
Sir,
nyo lang po yung presentation nyo, ma'am.
click yung presentation. Tapos, sir.
Ano nyo, ma'am? Doon sa application window po, pipiliin nyo lang yung presentation, ma'am. Tapos mag-share na po yan.
Oo nga. Wait lang ha, sir.
Yes, Ma'am Mabel, take your time.
Okay. Eto na. Meron na ba, ma'am? Hello, ma'am. Meron na po?
Hello, Ma'am Mabel, wala pa po.
Wala pa. Bakit sa akin lumalabas na siya?
Opo. But in the StreamYard, we haven't seen it yet.
Sige, sige, ma'am. Sandali lang ulit.
Okay po.
Ulit. Take, take 3.
Yes po. So, right after the discussion of Ma'am Mabel, so everybody is allowed, no, to ask questions through chat box po. So, pwede po kayong magtanong right after the discussion para po mas maupuan po ni Ma'am Mabel lahat po ng mga queries natin. So, get ready with your questions after the discussion of Ma'am Mabel up until Principal 4. Yan. Okay na po, Miss Mabel.
Ayan.
That's it.
Kita na,
Okay.
ma'am. Ayan. Nagmo-move siya.
Okay po, okay po.
Yan,
Everything
yan.
is
Okay.
perfect na po, Ma'am Mabel. Okay.
Okay. Santa Rosa City people, Division of Santa Rosa, welcome again to our discussion about the school-based management in the new normal. So same with our agreement yesterday. After each principal, I will be entertaining questions coming from you, of course, for the easy discussion and easy conversation among us para meron agad, yun yung tinatawag nating very timely, relevant technical assistance. Okay? So now, what we need in our discussion is really yung pumapasok yung sinabi ng ating ng inspirational message ng ating ng ating SDS ni Ma'am Ella na it's really a compassion. Kinakailangan natin ng compassion. And SBM, we need the compassion. So, to all of you, good morning once again to our SDS Mamela, sa ating ASDS Sir Lindo, and of course, our two chiefs, Sir James and Mama Ofren, and of course, Mama Rizel, and the rest of the team, the EPSS, the PSBSS, the DF of the Division of Santa Rosa. Of course, all of the school heads and our school-based management coordinator of each school. Siguro, kung ako yung principal, I would suggest, kasi StreamYard naman to, all of my team within my school, siguro pakikinigin ko na rin, di ba? But anyway, that's the essence of the StreamYard. Mas maraming nakakapakinig, mas maraming na-influence para makakuha tayo ng mas maraming audience and makarinig ng ating discussions. Okay? So yesterday, we discussed about the preparation and appreciation of the documents using the DO83 series of 2012. So we are revisiting all of what is SBM. We should start within ourselves. It should be strength-based leadership with database, of course, and of course, using the MOVs, we will be targeting our level of practice, and we will be forgetting before then but, and instead we will be saying let's do it and we can make it. So for the objectives, we have 4 objectives, and we revisit what are the actions to be done in the challenges that we are experiencing, the institutional reform, and of course the vision of change that will focus on the ACCES, the child and community student-centered education system, and of course, looking into the education for all, the features of the ACCS, and then the framework and the key strategies to realize as such. And of course, our SBM conceptual framework has four principles. It's the leadership and governance, the curriculum and learning, the accountability and continuous improvement, and the resource management. So we also have and discuss about what are the level of practice. It's the level one, developing, level two, maturing, and level three, advanced. And how the coordination arrangement must be done coming from your school. So start from your school, going to the division, to the region, and to the central office. And also we discuss about the scoring matrix, which I know that everyone in the school, the 28 schools in the division of Santa Rosa has the what we call e-tool in identifying or in the scoring of our school-based management. It composed of the improvement of the learning outcomes and the SBM practices using the DOD, which are equivalent to 100%. We also discuss how to get all of the percentage using the descriptions and the scores given per indicators. And of course, we've done with the leadership and governance, how to appreciate the documents, what are the MOVs needed, what are the things that we should do, and how are we going to tell our own story using our own best practices. So some challenges will be encountered, but of course, through the interventions of our schools and together with the team, we will be we will be answering all of those challenges. So we've done with the principle A, which is the leadership and governance, and the curriculum and instruction. And so far yesterday, we don't have any questions as regard to the lecture. So happy with that. So we will now start with the accountability and continuous improvement. So here are again, the indicators presented in the O83 series of 2012. Like yesterday, yesterday we had our conversation with your SBM division, SBM coordinator, Ma'am Maricel, that we are using the regional memorandum number 53 series of 2021, and I sent it to her so that every one of you in the school have the copy of the what we call regional memorandum for you to follow what is expected to discuss this morning. So all of the suggested MOBs are written there. The same with the how to get the score and how to really appreciate the documents using the DOD process. So now let's start. It's the accountability and the continuous improvement. So number one, indicator is this. The roles and responsibilities of accountable persons and collective bodies are clearly defined and agreed upon by community stakeholders. So the indicating factor, number one, there is an active party that initiates clarification of the roles and responsibilities in education delivery. Two, the stakeholders are engaged in clarifying and defining their roles. Three, shared and participatory processes are used in determining roles. So roles and responsibilities of accountable persons and body. So in here, iuulitin lang uli natin who are the governing bodies that are responsible. So, like what I've told you before, yesterday, that the governing body should be legit and should have the what we call DO, DM, and the policy. Okay, so these are the SFA, the SGC, the PTA, the SPG, and the SSG. Okay, so now, how to appreciate? Number one, so there is an active party, level one, narrative report on the conduct of SOSA Stakeholder Summit. So, makikita nyo uli dito merong SOSA. Ibig sabihin lang, not all of the report from your SOSA, of your what you are, yung inyong state of the school address, hindi na kinakailangang ilagay lahat yon. So, ano yung dapat na nandoon? Emphasizing the roles and responsibilities of the accountable persons. Ano? So, kunin nyo lang yung part na yon at yun ang ilagay nyo about the narrative report, ano yung tungkol doon, ano yung napag-usapan, tapos ano yung mga naging interventions, etc. Ano? So, yun lang. Kaya halimbawa, the SOSA of the school head ay 5 to 10 pages. May ganun ba? Hindi naman ganun kadami, no? Pero kung meron man, just crop up all of the matter as regard to the stakeholders' roles and responsibilities for all of those accountable persons. Okay? So, second, advocacy materials again. Of course, sino yon? O, ano yung mga dapat na advocacy materials na doon? And of course, info board. Yan. Another, second, the stakeholders are engaged. How are you going to engage your stakeholders? Ayan, propose PPAs on the matters of school governance and operations initiated by the schools and stakeholders. And of course, the accomplishment report of the implemented PPAs. So titingnan lang natin, ilalagay lang uli natin, katulad ng discussion ko kahapon, just look at the indicating factor para makita mo talaga na yun ang tinutuhog. Yun yung tinatakbo ng iyong gustong mangyari for that level. And for the number 3, request letter of the stakeholders. Ayan, eto na naman, may request letter to implement the PPAs, the logbook, records of the stakeholders initiated, SGCPTA minutes of the meeting. Yan. So, ano yon? Ano yung pinag-uusapan? It's all about clearly defined and agreed upon the community. It's the roles and responsibility of the accountable person. So, yun dapat ang makita natin sa minutes of the meeting na inyong pag-uusapan. Okay? Yan. So, number 2, achievement of goals is recognized based on collaboratively developed performance accountability system. Gaps are addressed through appropriate action. And so sa unang bahagi, performance accountability is practiced at the school level. Are the performance accountability practiced in the school level? How? Okay, so next, second, a community level accountability system is evolving from school initiatives. And third, a community accepted performance accountability recognition and incentive system is being practiced. So, natatanggap na ngayon ng community. Ano? Okay. So, ito na. Ano yung kinakailangan natin? Kasi pag pinag-usapan ng accountability and continuous improvement, laging tandaan natin na it's the achievement of goals. Di ba? Ano? So, goals, process, output. Ano yung goal mo? Increase access and quality basic education. Kaya tingnan nyo ha, dito pa lang sa accountability, tinutuhog na nito yung tungkol sa pag-increase ng access. Ano nga yung mga access na sinabi ko sa inyo kahapon? It's all about the enrollment. Quality of the basic education, about the performance of our teachers, of our school. The learners, the teachers, specifically the learners. Diba, no? And the process, the performance accountable. The accountability system and the output, strategic directions to address the gaps. Yan. So how to appreciate? Ayan. 1, performance accountability is practiced at the school level. Yan. Report of AIP review less than 100% accomplished. Halimbawa, sasabihin nyo ulit sa akin, ma'am, nakakatuwa, 2 lang siya. Again, uulitin ko, paano ka ba nagre-report ng iyong AIP review? Ano yung mga prosesong ginamit mo? Sabi kanina, kinakailangan ma-increase ang access. Magkaroon ng quality basic education. Ang inyong performance accountability system ang pinag-uusapan. So, paano? So, looking at on the indicators na nasa SIP again, titingnan sa access. Titingnan sa performance indicator, ano ba yung nangyayari? O, di ba? Meron naman tayong reporting. So, meaning to say, it's not only written here at the 2 specific MOBs, pero ang dami palang mga nasa ilalim nito. Ano? Okay, and copy of the PPAs. Second, report of AIP review 100% accomplished. Meron pa rin ganon. Bakit? Siyempre, continuation. Hindi naman pwedeng nung unang bahagi, di ba, nag-report ka siguro quarter lang, first quarter, or hanggang second semester. Sorry, hanggang second quarter. Pagdating dito sa pangalawa, ang tinuhog mo na is the third and the fourth quarter. Di ba, no? And then you have the PPA's monitoring and the documentation of the conducted PPAs. And being practiced na, so lahat na kabuuan ngayon na-accomplish nyo. Pero with identified value-added outputs. Ano? Ano ba yan? Nakuha nyo ba na mabuti? Accomplished ba yung target? O meron ba talagang identified value-added output? So meaning to say, ano yung result? Ano? And then you address the gaps. So it's being practiced now. So everybody in the school now alam na, nako, ang kulang pala natin ay ito. So dapat ito ma-accomplish natin. So and so. Di ba na, yan, naba-practice na. So ma'am, pwede po ba para ma-address ang tungkol po dito? Ito po ang ating gamitin. So it is being now practiced. Okay? Yan. So third, the accountability system is owned by the community and is continuously enhanced to ensure that management structures and mechanisms are responsive to the emerging learning. So first, the school articulates the accountability. Look at the pattern again. It comes from most of our indicating factor ang nagkakaroon ng pattern, di ba? Ano kung napansin niyo yung kahapon hanggang ngayon? Ang pattern niya ay it starts from the school, initiate from the school, articulates in the school, and then on the second one, it's the stakeholders are engaged, or sometimes it's the school and the community working as full partners. Tapos pagdating sa pangatlo, nakikipag-collaborate na, and who leads is the school community stakeholders. Did you get it now? So, makikita natin lahat ang mga pattern na yan pag tayo nag-work na. Again, ang system ng accountability, eto pa rin. Kasi focusing on the holistic factors of our, what is on our SIP. Again, it's the goals, process, and the output. Ano? Kaya talagang dapat ang principals, ang mind, when it comes to the strategic directions. Ano, sabi nga ng isang superintendent, when we had a visit in the national, the most critical part of the administration really is the principal. Diba? No? Kasi ikaw lahat dapat Ikaw yung mind, ikaw yung heart, ikaw yung soul of the school. Kung hindi mo yan gagamitin, paano ka makakapag-function? Ano? So, kaya I am challenging all of those who are new in of being the principal, learn to always access with your colleagues, with your community, and with the others, and ask for the technical help, ask for the technical assistance. Ano? Walang masama. Walang masama sa nagtatanong, yun ang tatandaan nyo, yun ay talagang nakalagay sa utak ko nung ako'y maging school head. Hindi masama na nagtatanong, hindi masama na ikaw ay laging nanghihingi ng kasagutan. Kasi your accountability really matters. Yan, tatandaan na, hindi pwedeng ako lang ang magaling. Hindi pwedeng ako lang. Yan. Because of the word accountability. Yan, okay? So now, what are the suggested MOBs? It's the letter of the invitation to the stakeholder. It's the copy of the school memo of the conduct of the activity for the internal stakeholders. Ayan. And the narrative report. Ayan. PPAs, postal, etc. But then again, it's the school articulates. Dapat sa school nangyari. School ang nag-initiate. Of course, ang makikita dyan is the signature of our school principal. Sometimes, may mga letter na ang nakalagay lagi is noted lang si principal. Hindi siya nag-initiate. Dapat, di ba, pag minsan kasi ganito yon, may mga pagkakataon na nag-note tayo kasi merong certain activity na meron tayong coordinator. Pero pag alam nating at stake ang decision, it should be the principal who sign. Yan. This is another lesson for this day, ha? It's the principal who will sign the communication. Okay? Ano, alisin natin yung palaging tayo ay sinoted. Ano? Yan, ano. So, kasi merong mga pangyayari, ulitin ko, there are certain reasons or certain activities that needs our critical decision, our decision making at stake, di ba? Ano pag minsan talagang dapat ikaw yung mananagot, kaya lagi sinasabi ko na ako naging principal, ano, akong bahala kasi ako yung nakaperma dyan. Ano, hindi pwedeng, uy, ikaw ang pumirma dyan, ako yung nag-note lang. Ayan. That's not the proper, ano. Pero meron mga pagkakataon naman na sa mga reporting, specifically, halimbawa, submission of the reports as regard to the MPS, etc. Ayan, kasi may mga subject coordinator ka, yung meron, isa ka naman doon, nagno-noted ikaw. Ano, submitted by the school head, the head teacher, tapos noted si principal. Yung may mga ganon. So, tingnan natin yung mga bagay na dapat talagang nasasaan tayo. Okay? Okay. And then the level 2, stakeholders are engaged in the development. So, paano magiging engaged ang development of the accountability system? Oh, yan. Narrative report, yan. During the General Assembly, the open line communication. So, I know that you can put all of your activities in here. Marami kayong mga activities dyan na may ilalagay. And the school community stakeholders continuously and collaboratively review and enhance updated and accurate transparency board at strategic direction to address the gap. Kasi one of the practice that I'm doing when I was the principal then, all of the communication, I see to it that all of my colleagues, may kasamahang kaguruan, nakaperma sila doon sa ilalim para walang magsasabi na, ma'am, hindi po namin alam. Ano? So, mas maganda kasi yung meron kang pinangahawakan na, di ba, I told you, this is not only during our meeting, we also have this memorandum stating the following, etc. And you signed it. Ayan, yung mga ganon. Ano. So, even in the transparency board, updated and accurate, you can have also the signature of those who sees it, yung mga nasa transparency board. And then, you're now looking onto the strategic directions to address the gaps. Okay. So, number 4, accountability assessment criteria and tools, feedback mechanisms, and information collection and validation techniques and processes are inclusive. Yan. So that's the indicators, the holistic indicators. What are the indicating factor? 1, the school with the participation of the stakeholders articulates an accountability assessment framework. 2, stakeholders are engaged. 3, stakeholders continuously and collaboratively review and enhance. So, paano natin yun gagamitin? Accountability assessment system. This is only an example, my dear fellow school principal. Assessment tools. Ano yung mga assessment tools na ginagawa natin? So, pwede kang gumamit dyan ng client satisfaction survey. I know that all of you, specifically this time of pandemic, we have so many survey that we have done kasi para malaman natin ano ba yung nangyayari sa ating community. Parents opinionaire, checklist, form, survey, etc. And what are the feedback mechanism ninyo? General Assembly, Education Summit, Stakeholders Forum, yan. So, this time of pandemic, ano yung ating feedback mechanism? It's virtual kamustahan, di ba, no? Okay. So, mga ganon. So, another, info collection, sampling, validation process, FGD. Totoo ba? Mag-FGD nga tayo. So, this time, dahil nasa new normal tayo, FGD pa rin ang ating gagamitin through virtual. Participation, brainstorming, interview through virtual. Virtual naman talaga ngayon tayo. Diba, no? Okay. So, now, for the MOBs, client satisfaction survey, parents opinionaire. So again, dito na uli papasok yung inyong ginawang template. Ano? dito na uli papasok yung inyong ginawang template. Marami kayong naging client satisfaction survey. Siyempre, ang isang section po namin, ma'am, inaabot po ng 40. 35 is the least, di ba? So, marami po ang nagsagot. So, again, use your template. Okay? So, clients. Sa client satisfaction, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the name. And then, anong naging result of the satisfaction survey? Satisfied ba sila? Ayan. So that you can also address the gaps in here. Di ba? Accountability natin lagi yon. Ano yung mga parents' opinion Ano yung nasa checklist form natin? So ito yung pinakamabilis natin ay yung checklist form, di ba? Evident, not evident. Di ba yun sa checklist? Okay, meron ba? Meron, check, 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 o wala, wala, wala. Yan. So, paano naman yung 2? Stakeholders are engaged. Analysis, consolidation of the evaluation results from feedback, and M&E results with proposed solutions and intervention. So, na-analyze nyo na, naka-consolidate nyo na ngayon. Dapat meron na ngayon M&E results, monitoring and evaluation. Meron na ding result ng feedback. So, anong ilalagay nyo dun sa kadulunan? It's the solutions or the intervention. So, you can also have there you can make use of your own template again. And then after that, na-analyze nyo na ano yung nasa ilalim. Magpapamiting kayo ngayon using the SGC. Calling all the SGC para ma-discuss yung feedback, results, and the proposed solution. And afterwards, sa kahulihan, progress monitoring report on the implemented solutions and intervention. Iisa lang yan. Pero paano palalabasin yung tinatawag nating indicating factors in stakeholders continuously and collaboratively review and enhance? Ayan. So for the number 5, participatory assessment of performance is done regularly with the community. Ayan. School initiates periodic performance assessment, collaborative conduct of performance, school community develop performance assessment. Ayan. Tingnan natin. Participatory performance assessment. Bakit yun ang aking hinanap? Kasi yun ang hinihingi ng ating indicator, di ba? Okay, so using again the input, process, and output. Ano yung mga input mo ngayon dito? So, syempre, lahat ng nasa PPAs mo. Kasali dun yung iyong performance indicator. Papasok ulit si access, efficiency, and quality. An experience of mine, when I was the school head, ako, yung bagang always at a loss, pag hinahanap yung access, ano nga bang meron sa access? Ano ba yung efficiency? Kasi nga, di ba, sabi ko nga sa inyo, kanya-kanyang interpretation. Nowadays, kahit nakatulog tayo, alam natin na what is in access, what are the efficiency, and what are the quality. Di ba, no? Okay. And for the process, of course, ayan, yung mga process natin, SWOT analysis, strategic planning, strategic directions, ayan. And the output, of course, syempre, participatory, ang hinahanap, technical assistance, recognition, plan adjustment. And babalikan mo uli, ano yung naging feedback. Yan, ganyan lagi sa accountability. At kung napapansin din natin when we are doing our own flowchart, huwag nating iiwanan yung feedback. Yun nga yung sinabi ko sa inyo kahapon, it's the good and not so good, kinakailangan na-address natin. Kapag good, nasusustain or i-strengthen. Diba? No? Pag not so good, lalagyan ng solutions, lalagyan ng interventions. Para mapunta sa papuntang good. Okay? Ayan. So now, for the MOVs, ayan, status of the school's performance. Looking at the status, nutritional, feeding, the status of the indicator, the access, efficiency, and quality, which the school initiates its periodic performance. And for the second one, ayan, looking at your AIP adjustments or the enhanced AIP, base dun sa SIP, wag malilito yung bakit may slash lagi kasi pinaghugutan ng SIP. Uulitin ko lang para dun sa mga teachers nating naririto, SIP sa 3-year plan na kung saan ang AIP bubuo ng tatlong plano na galing na ang pinanggalingan ay yung SIP. Ano? Kaya may annual, kaya ang tawag doon ay annual improvement plan. Yan, doon sa mga gustong maging principal. So the collaborative conduct, minutes of the meeting, discussing the feedbacks, results, and proposed solution. So ang nalagay lang dito is the minutes of the meetings, pero how are you going to undergo or have that minutes of the meeting kung wala kang patawag, di ba no? So implied, some of our MOBs in here, kasi nga sabi ko nga sa inyo, suggested implied, but of course, on the third, it's the progress monitoring report on the implemented solutions, and you can have your technical assistance initiated, recognition project, plan and adjustment. So dito, kasi nga participatory, yung technical assistance initiated, this doesn't mean na it only comes from the principal. You can ask the assistance of the division personnel who are in charge of your needs. Halimbawa, technical assistance, ang hinihingi, ang pinag-uusapan is about the nutritional status. You cannot avoid. Ang dami-dami na naman nating severely wasted. So, paano natin mariresolve ito? So, technical assistance, pwede tayong humingi ng tulong ng nasa health natin, sa SGOD. Di ba, no? Okay. So, ito na nga yung sinasabi nating tulong-tulungan. And then, recognition, project praise, and plan adjustments. So, that's end for the third principles indicating 5 indicators. Okay? So, yon. So, same with what I'm telling you yesterday. I have been taking this opportunity again to tell that this suggested MOBs is not requiring the division to contextualize it for all of the schools. It's now the school who are in charge to contextualize the MOBs based on your practice, based on your own practice, and based on the action done in your school. Okay? So, yun yung ating mga dapat na isaalang-alang. Okay? So now, saglit lang hat may. Ayan. So, any question as regard to Principle 3? Siguro wala pa rin. But anyway, ako na lang naman ang inyong speaker. I can accommodate all of your queries later on. Okay? So, let us continue. So, while we are continuing our discussion, you can have your water break, your coffee break, etc. No? For the last principle, it's the management of resources. Ayan. Regular resource management, resource inventory is collaboratively undertaken by learning managers. 1, stakeholders are aware that a regular resource inventory is available. 2, resource inventory is characterized by regularity increased. Okay? And then, resource inventory are systematically developed and stakeholders are engaged. So, paano ba ito? Ano ba yung tinatawag nating ini-inventaryo sa paaralan? Di ba, sasabihin natin, regularly resource inventory pa lang. Yan. So, ito yan. Resource inventory system. Pag naging resource inventory, ang ini-inventaryo natin, it's not about the finances only. So, we have here the human resource, financial resource, the technological resource, and the material resources. Dati na tayong gumagawa ng template, ano yung mga nasa resources natin? It's man, money, di ba? Human, material, di ba? Yun ang ating mga nilalagay. So, same with this in here. The input should be coming from the human resources, the financial, the technological, and the material resources. And what are the process? Of course, resource inventory, the FGD, the strategic planning, etc. And the output, kapag nakapag-inventory ka, kaya nga may sistema, malalagyan mo ngayon siya ng tinatawag nating allocation of mobilization plan. So this is the the weapon, the power of really revisiting what you have done during the past months, past years. Kasi makikita mo, hindi pala ako naglagay ng allocation as regard to human, as regard to technological resources. So, makikita mo ngayon using your resource inventory system that you need to put and have the allocated amount and make your ramp resource allocation and mobilization plan. And afterwards, of course, laging merong feedback na may feedback. So now, ayan. Ito na ngayon yung ating, ito na ngayon yung ating MOBs. Na-starstruck ako dito sa akin kasi may nagpa-pop up na tungkol dun sa ating policy planning, di ba? Coincide with this our activity ay nasa may policy planning tayo. So, let us continue. Yan, ito na uli. Basis uli is the SIP, AIP, and the APP. Resource inventory. Yan. So, paano ka mag-inventory ng human? Performance indicator, learning support and resource materials, etc. Sa technological, paano mo siya i-inventaryo? Sa physical, yan, tingnan natin yung ating physical, school titling, school development plan, baka tayo nawawala. Yun pa lang ating sa physical, hindi natin naiintindihan, wala pa palang titulo ang ating mga school. Ayan, dapat maingat tayo dito, kaya dapat ang principal alam ito, meron na bang titulo? Kasi ngayon, di ba, the requirement of giving the school building coming from the national, one of the requirements is that the title. Tapos may mga na-encounter pa kami from other divisions na nababawi ang paaralan, di ba? Because of that, binabawi ang paaralan kasi namatay na yung nag-donate, yung lolo-lola, natitira yung mga generation ngayon. So, talagang pinipilit nilang makuha. So, yun, nagkakaroon tuloy ng mga relocation site. So, kaya dapat maingat talaga ang ating mga managers in the school. Okay? For the financial, ano naman yung ating ini-inventaryo? It's the canteen, the MOE, etc. So, nasa sa inyo din kung ano may mga etc.s na yan. And of course, for the second part, resource inventory is characterized by regularity, increased participation of the stakeholders. So, eto na uli, yung approve, titingnan uli natin, even the school calendar and activities, highlighting the project work plan and budget matrix resource inventory. Yan. So, for the last one, each PPA must be supported by the following. Ito na yung kompleto. Activity proposal, school memo, attendance, completion, etc. Okay. So, that's for the number 1. For the number 2, a regular dialogue for planning and resource programming that is accessible and inclusive, continuously engage stakeholders and support. So, 1, stakeholders are invited to participate. 2, stakeholders are regularly engaged. And 3, stakeholders collaborate to ensure timely and need-based. So, tingnan natin paano ba siya. So, again, input, process, and output. Meron ulit tayong sistema, planning and resource programming system. So, Ma'am Maybell, uulitin ulit. Dapat po ba talaga na may flowchart kaming ganyan? Uulitin ko ulit ang sagot ko. Kung kaya at naisulat, bakit ang hindi? Kung hindi naman naisulat at kaya namang isulat, bakit din ang hindi? Ay ma'am, wag na lang po. It's okay din naman. Okay. So, nasa sa inyo po yan. Babalikan ko ulit yung sinabi ko. Kung ako si principal, ba't hindi na natin i-drawing? Ginawa naman natin. Alam nyo mga kasama, mahirap lang talagang maisulat kapag hindi natin ginagawa. Pero use ka na dito, way of life nyo na kapag may ganito, nakakagawa ka ng ganito, etc. Madaling-madali na yan sa inyo. Okay? Yan. Again, for the input, process, and output, the input, internal factors affecting school resource management. And the other one, external factors affecting school resource management. Diba? Ang ganda, no? Kasi para magkaroon kayo ng regular dialogue for planning and resource programming. So, what are the processes? Ayan, daming process. And then the output, makakagawa ka ng mga development plan. And again, looking back at looking onto all of those factors, magkakaroon ng feedback. Okay, yan. So, mahirap ba? Mahirap po eh. Siguro, masasabi kong sa una lang yan mahirap. Pero kapag pumikit ka, parang yung napanood ko kagabi, you just take a breath pag ikaw'y napapagod na. Ginawa ko yun kahapon, just relax, yan, close your eyes for a minute, and then take a breath, and think that you are blowing the cake of yours, then release, tapos open your eyes. Yan yung napanood ko kahapon, no? Ayan. So now, the stakeholders are invited to participate in the development of an educational plan. So anong ilalagay natin para nakapa-participate si stakeholders? File copy of the procurement law. Yan. Kaya tayo hanap-hanapan nito. Di ba? May bago tayo ngayon dun sa dapat na i-procure. Bakit kinakailangang meron ito? So para hindi tayo nawawala ng mga eligible and non-eligible. Remember, during the time na meron tayong SBM grant, ang dami nating mga school heads na napagsoli ng ating napagbayad, ng ating accounting division, ng ating finance division, kasi nga non-eligible yung na-procure nila. Ayan. So, dapat talaga maingat, di ba? And then, conduct of orientation, the procurement process, and then the list of back chair and the members with BOR. So, bakit naman si back chair ang nandito? Pinag-uusapan is about the resource programming, about doon sa internal and external factors affecting the resources management. Ayan, kaya meron siya si back. And of course, for the second one, it's now looking at the approved SIP, AIP, Human Resource Development Plan. May mga plano ka nang nabuo. And I know for sure that all of you know how to make a plan. Diba na? And then the last one is the Committee on the Resource Management. We defined roles and functions that will perform the following: updated database resource information system. Ito nakakatuwa, meron kami yung mga na-validate natin na level 3. Ang galing-galing ng mga database nila kasi they are utilizing their ICT in their school. Diba, So, gamitin natin yon. Nakaka-come up sila ng isang magandang database. And then the school schedule of the procurement that will ensure timely and efficient delivery of good services. So, alam ko dyan, ang bawat mga principals, tumatakbo na yung mga utak nila, ninyo, parang ano yung gagawin ko para dito? Ano yung mga dapat na ilagay? So, I'm happy with that. Okay? For the third one, in place is a community-developed resource management system that drives appropriate behavior of the stakeholders. 1. The stakeholders support judicious, appropriate, and effective use of resources. 2. Stakeholders are engaged. 3. Stakeholders sustain the implementation and improvement of the collaboratively developed, periodically adjusted, and constituent focus. Yan. Sige. Management. Ito na naman. Meron na naman tayong system. Kung makikita nyo sa resource management, puro system ang pinag-uusapan. Kasi yun yung hinihingi. Is a community-developed resource management system. Kaya if I'm one of your validator, ang hihingin ko talaga, how do you manage the resources? What are your system? Yan. How do you develop your resource management system? So, syempre, ikikwento mo bilang ikaw si school head. So, habang ikinikwento mo na, isinulat mo na siya. Nakagawa ka na. This is one of the best example again. So, sasabihin nyo, si Ma'am Mabel, lahat na nakalagay, best example, of course, kasi yan ay pinag-isipan, pinag-aralan. Okay? And my basis, it's the interview coming from the school head. Mismong sa school head. Okay. 1, resource inventory system. So, ano yung mga in-inventaryo mo? Ang una po ma'am namin ginawa is resource inventory system. And then on the second one, nag-plan at nag-resource programming po kami. And then on the third, ano yung mga ginawa mong focus? Ano yung paano mo ginawa yun? Yan, ito na po, nasa ilalim. Pagdating sa ikatatlo, school M&D plan adjustment. Ito po. And then ikaapat po, sustainable public-private partnership system. So, di ba ang ganda? you can have this as your guide. And o kaya naman, you can replicate it using your own practice. Ha? Pwede yon. Ano? Pero hindi pwede ang duplicate, ha? Magkaiba yon. You can replicate it using your own practice. Pero sabi ni Ma'am Mabel, hindi pwedeng duplicate. Ano? Ala, hindi pwedeng. Yung ginagawa ng isang paaralan, ginagawa ko din sa paaralan ko. Pera, meron din namang meron din namang may bat. Pera, kung ikay nag-benchmark at nakita mo kaya niyong gawin yung ginagawa nila. Did you get it? So, kaya yun sabi lagi na, in every rule, there is an exemption. Pumapasok pa rin yun doon. Okay? So now, what are the MOBs? Monthly disbursement liquidation, fidelity bond, school MOE, etc. So kung marami na, make your template and have it in one page of your bond paper. Okay? Second, monthly cash program. Approve APP, tingnan. Sub-araw ba? May disbursement, may schedule, Okay. And then memo and minutes of the meeting on reporting of the disbursement, schedule of disbursement versus actual disbursement. Ayan, di ba? Sabi, makikita niyan, siya nga, magkaiba nga pala, nag-schedule ka lang, pero naging actual ba yung disbursement? Kaya, versus actual. And then validate, approve disbursement, and documented evidence of reporting of disbursements to stakeholders. Ayan, re-report na tayo para to sustain the implementation. Okay? Number 4, regular monitoring, evaluation, and reporting processes of resource management are collaboratively developed. 1, stakeholders are invited to participate. 2, stakeholders collaboratively participate. And 3, stakeholders are engaged and held accountable. Yan. So, paano na? Ito na uli sa atin. School MEPA for Resource Management. Yan. Ano yan? Nakagawa uli ng isang sistema, di ba? 1, appraisal of the quality of lands. Human resource development. In-appraise mo, di ba? Ma'am, una pong ginawa namin, nag-appraise po kami. Kasi po yung hinihingi is regular monitoring, di ba? So, nag-appraise po kami. Pangalawa po, progress monitoring. Pangatlo po, nag-M&D reporting po. And pang-apat po, reporting of and feedback system. So, natatanda yung isang division na pinag-anuhan ko. Nag-share din ako ng katulad nito. You know, after my discussion, one of the principal, drawing, nag-guhit-guhit na rin siya ng ganito. Tapos, nung matapos na ako mag-talk, na-message niya ako, ma'am, ano po yung pwede kong ilagay dito sa pangatlo? Pwede pong humingi ng technical assistance? Yes, of course. So, nakita ko yung ang ganda ng flow. So, meaning to say, kaya nga, di ba, when we are attending, we have to use our pencil and the paper. Kasi nakakalimutan natin pag minsan kung ano yung mga nasabi ng ating speaker. And another example, one of the principal, again, using the face-to-face. Nag-face-to-face na kami minsan, di ba? Ayan. So, after my discussion, ganun din ang kanyang ginawa sa akin. Ma'am, what if dito po ay hindi ko ilagay ay flowchart? Ang gawin ko po ay inisa-isa ko po na meron ganon. Inupuan namin siya. So, at the end of the day, naging flowchart pa rin. Kaya siya tuwan-tuwa. Palakpak siya. So, ibig sabihin lang, may mga learnings tayo na dapat nating isaalang-alang. Diba? Tama? Okay. So, paano yung MOBS? Ito, inventory of the resources. Ma'am, ang dami-dami po namin ini-inventaryo. Have it on your template. Ano yung mga na-inventory nyo? Is it evidence? Not evident. Evident and not. Pwede po yan. Checklist, ma'am. Pag sa template po ba, ma'am, pwede din po ang checklist style? Yes, of course. Pwede din yan. Yan, lalo na dito. Inventory of resources. File copy of the asset management policy, report of the orientation, asset management plan, memo on acquisition, disposal of supplies. Ayan. Ito pag minsan, ito yung nakalagay na memo on acquisition and the disposal of the supplies, 'di ba? Namimigay tayo kahit nung hindi new normal, kahit nung wala pa tayong pandemic, 'di ba? Ang mga principals namimigay ng halimbawa, tabo, timba, walis, di ba? No? So, dapat meron kayong memo of that, acquisition and disposal of supplies. Ayan, di ba? Para napaparisiban nyo sa kanila. This is to inform you that we acquire the following, etc. And the disposal of these supplies will be on and received by, yan, mga ganon. So, you have that. Ano, so, sabihin nyo, ay, siya nga, ano, di ba? That's also a means for you para maintindihan ng mga teachers na sinasabi nila. Pag minsan may teacher tayo nagsasabi, wala po kami nare-receive coming from the MOE. Ayan, samantalang kung nagkaroon kayo ng memo, napapermahan nyo sila, di ba? Ayan, hoy, sandali lang. I have the copy in here. Eto, yan. Okay, so, o kaya naman, who are the in charge for the principal for? Pakikuha nga yung ating memo on acquisition. Ayan. So, magiging aware din si teacher of saying na wala po kaming nare-receive. Di ba na, mind you, totoo ang sinasabi ko because I experienced this with one of my co-teachers during the time na laging sinasabi niya, wala po, pero pag uno namimigay na kami, together with the property custodian, siyang kauna-unahan nakapila. Pero at the end of the day, kinikwento pa rin yung wala daw siyang nare-receive. Ano? Pero because of that, yung may signature sila, may memorandum ang school, kaya I used to make a memorandum. Ano? Ayan. Madali lang naman ang paggawa ng memorandum. Hindi yan box sa principal. Ano? Memo number 001. Di ba? School memo number 001. School memo. Even yung how to iba na to, no? Even yung halimbawa, yung tungkol sa absenteeism of your teachers, pwede mo din siyang memohan. Yan. Pwede ding, may mga ganong bagay. Ano? Okay. So, accountability yun natin. Doon yun sa accountability. Another, legal basis for the asset, financial reports, physical and financial target plan. Ayan. So, yan. Okay, for the number 2, align to the rules and regulations of accounting and auditing. Yan. Nakikita nyo yung memorandum done by you receive from the division office. Pag lalo na halimbawa may mga allowances o kaya tayo ay magre-reimburse, di ba lang sa ilalim nun ay align to the rules and regulations of accounting and auditing. Yan. So, yan. Ito yung mga list natin. And of course, accomplished annual monitoring. May mga annual monitoring tayo. Nag-monitor by and audited by the stakeholders, division, district, yan, other stakeholders. Pwede ng isang template ito. So, meron lang kayong checklist na division ba yun? District, other stakeholders. Okay? And then, mayor reports, plan adjustment, financial report, communication report, ayan, etc. Ayan. In here, kasali ang SRC. Ulitin ko. Ayan, yung mga SBM coordinators, ilang beses tayo nagre-release ng SRC? 2 beses dapat. On the first, kompleto. On the second release, dapat may nabawas na kasi may na-accomplish ka na doon at may natitira pang ways forward. Yan. Yun yung paggagawa natin ng SRC. Kaya nga lagi kong sinasabi sa principal, when you are communicating with your stakeholders, lalo na kapag ikay nag-i-State of the Nation address, wag laging maganda and wag laging kompleto ang sinasabi. Kinakailangan may maganda at merong hindi masyadong maganda. Did you get the point? Kasi paano pa sila magbibigay sa inyo ng support? Kung lahat ay kompleto ka na. Yan, yun yung isang tick doon. Okay, so that's for the number 4 indicators. For the number 5, there is a system that manages the network and linkages with a strengthened and sustained partnership. System again, an engagement procedure to identify and utilize partnership, stakeholder support a system of partnership, and an established system of partnership is managed and sustained. Okay? So, eto na. System. Sistema daw. Paano yung network and linkages? Paano? Okay. So, eto lang medyo malalim yung pagkaka-interpret namin dito. Kasi yung pagkakabigay, this comes from the secondary principle na na-interview namin, no? Okay. Level 1, define. Level 2, integrated. Level 3, strengthen. And level 4, sustain. Ano yung kanyang mga, meron siyang ginamit na operational definition in each level. Ano? So, ma'am, pwede din po pala kaming gumawa ng operational definition namin. Yes, of course. Depende sa paggagamitan. Pwede kayong gumawa ng sarili niyong definition. Diba, no? Okay. So, level 1. Ano yung defined? Ano yung dinefine ninyo? Ma'am, dinefine namin who are the stakeholders. We really define all of them. Belongs to. Yan, sabi niya. Yes, napakaganda sabi ko. Integrated. Ano yung system integrated? Ma'am, inilagay po namin sila sa kung saan siya. Halimbawa po, sa uh, tricycle driver, ano ang pwede niyang itulong bilang sila ang stakeholders? Kasi po ito pong aming area, punong-puno po ng mga stakeholders na siya naghahatid ng mga bata. So ano po yung in-integrate namin sa kanya? So sila po yung naging sila po yung kinuhanan namin ng lakas para dun sa pagpapatawid ng bata, sa pagpasok at paglabas ng bata. See? So, they have their own operational. Ang word natin doon is operational definition. Level 3 is strengthen. Ano yung strengthen? It's the partnership. Bakit? Kasi ma'am, baka mawala. Kailangan po namin in-strengthen. And how do you strengthen? Ma'am, nagkakaroon po kami ng meeting po every end of the month. Tinawag po namin itong Friday group. Yan. Para pagkatapos po ng isang gawain, halimbawa po may area po kami na kung ano po halimbawa po ay yung grade 7, ito pong area ito, grade 8, itong grade 9, itong grade 10, may area po pero ano, yon. And afterwards po, at the end, meron po kaming sama-samang kainan. Yan, ganun po yon. Ano po? So now, we have also here the what we call sustain. Paano naman yung sustain? Ayan, continuous improvement po. So lagi po kaming nagre-report sa kanila. O, see? So look at the network and linkages. Nagkaroon sila ng knowledge management, may resource management, at may change management. So napakaganda, di ba? No? So you can design also your own flowchart as regard to the implementation of your own school. Okay? So now, for another example, ito naman yung isang example of the principal din ito. Sinulat naman niya lahat yung mga project partners niya. Paano naman ano yung resource mobilization partners? Sino yung mga naging in charge? And paano na-implement yung mga project? So this is another way. So may kanya-kanya, yun yung sinasabi ko sa inyo na may kanya-kanyang estratehiya based on your best practices. Okay? Yan. Yan. So how about the MOBs? Ayan. Partnership database. Ayan, ito. System. Partnership database naman. School project teams with roles and functions. Planning, meeting, reporting of the development of the resource mobilization, deed of donation kung meron, resource inventory. Yan. Pangalawa, utilization of the DPDS, the school project teams with roles and function, the list of generated resources, the MOA and the MOWO. Yan, pumasok dito yung MOA and MOWO, with partners. Yan. And then, of course, on the last, the memo and minutes of the regular meeting, Brigada Eskwela report. Yan, kasali si Brigada Eskwela kasi nandoon yung, makikita nyo, alin yung may best reporting na makikita yung sustainability, yung before and then. Di ba? Nasa Brigada yan. And list of all the stakeholders who supported. Ayan. So, yan yung mga bagay na dapat nating isaalang-alang. So, those are the 5 indicators as regard to principle 5 for the resource and management of our school-based management. So, ayan, tapos na tayo ng 4. Ayan, 4 na principles. Now, when I hear it coming from our school heads and the rest of the participants, any questions, clarification, or any learnings that you have heard this morning? Hello? Mama Maricel? Hello, Miss Kat and Pao?
Opo.
Maraming
Is
salamat.
there any question? We've
Yes, ma'am,
done
we
with
have.
the 4 principles.
So, ma'am, we have some questions gathered po sa
Narinig po kami, ma'am.
Hindi ko maintindihan. Hindi po clear ang inyong audio.
Ayan, sige po, ma'am. Sorry po. Ngayon po, ma'am, okay na po.
Ayan, yan. That's okay. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, we have some questions po gathered po through our survey po. We'll
Yeah.
just read some po. Okay po.
Sige.
Okay po, ma'am. Salamat po. Since we have finished po the 4 principles, para na po ito sa lahat ng principles po. Ano po?
Sige,
With
sige.
regards sa preparation po ng MOVs, this question came from one of the students po. How will the document analysis, observation, and discussion on SBM tools and MOVs be processed since we are in the new normal? Connected po siya sa isang question po ng isang teacher. Do we need to prepare digital or hard copies of the documents for validation?
Ayan. Ayan. So, sagutin ko kayo. How? Sabi pa ano daw, using the DOD process. Diba? Na isa-isa ko na. Siguro nga dahil yan ay question before the discussion. Tama ako, Sir Pao? Sir Pao? Hello?
Apo.
Hello?
Apo, ma'am.
Yan pong question natin before our discussion.
Apo.
Tama?
Apo.
Ayan. So, siguro hindi na yan question, sir, because I really appreciate the documents one by one, and they heard it right coming from me, how to prepare all of the documents and how to ano. So mamaya di-discuss ko naman sa inyo about the DOD process. Ano? But then and again, uulitin ko kasi nga, sorry ha, yung binabasa ni Sir Pao, wag po kayong may stress yung mga nabasang mga questions kasi naiintindihan ko po yun. Yun po ay question nyo nung hindi pa tayo nagdi-discuss. Okay? Pero uulitin ko na rin po, ito pong documents na to is from 2017, 2018, 2018, 2019, and 2019, 2020. We're not yet affected with what we call pandemic. During those times, tayo po ay talagang nag-prepare ng documents. Tama po, ano po? So, kailangan po talaga may documents tayo. For this 2020, 2021, ito na po yung sinasabi ko sa inyo kahapon na i-prepare nyo lang ano yung mga nakikita nyo na. Sorry sir, masyadong maingay yung nagpi-feedback na sounds. Masakit po sa tenga, sir. Meron po nag-feedback na sounds.
Check lang namin mo may audio po.
Oo, paki-ano nga. Ayan. So, yun pong para sa 2020, 2021, yun po yung ire-ready na lang natin kasi hindi pa tayo tapos ng ating school year. Katulad po ng sinabi ko kahapon, ang bini-prepare po nating documents yung nakatapos na. So, ibig sabihin po, ang inihahanda natin for 2021 is the preparatory, the initial preparation for the coming end of 2021. But then and again, the validation ay laging 3 years, kaya po nag-start tayo ng 2017, 2018, 2018, 2019, and 2019, 2020. Okay? So, that's it po. Baka mamaya yung sasabihin ng principal, naku, binanggit pa, nag-discuss na. Ayan. Naiintindihan ko po yan. Kasi po yan ay question before the discussion. Yes po.
Ma'am, additional din po, siguro, ang isa rin po sa concern kung bakit natanong din po ito ay yung pong since limited nga po yung ating face-to-face, pag nag-validate na po ba dito sa division, kailangan po ba talaga mag-prepare na hard copy since hindi nga po lahat makakababa sa school for the meantime po na GCQ pa? Or kailangan po prepared din po?
Sir Pao, uulitin po, our documents is for the 2017, 2018, 2018, 2019, and 2019-20. It is expected na meron po tayong hard copy of all those documents. Wala pong ibang sagot dyan.
Opo.
Ituturo ko lang po mamaya sa inyo sa DOD process how to go about the validation ngayong panahong ito dahil tayo ay nasa panahon ng new normal. Okay? Ayan. So, yun po yun. Okay? Ayan. Sige.
Ito
So,
po.
Okay po. Ito ma'am, question po from one of our teachers. So, since face-to-face is limited, can our transparency board be shown through website or FB page? Kung meron po ba siyang breach na, if ever in data
nako,
privacy?
Ma'am Kat and Sir Pao, siguro yung lahat ng mga limited face-to-face, mga DOD process during the face-to-face, new normal, mamaya nyo na po yan itanong sa akin.
Ay, sige.
Okay, ma'am.
Ang pinag-uusapan pa lang po natin is all about the 4 principles para hindi din malito yung ating mga kasamahan na nakikinig sa atin ng live. Ha? Oo, nang nakikinig ng live. We are just talking about the four principles if they have queries on how to appreciate the document. Doon pa lang tayo. Ang pag-uusapan pa lang natin ay, is there any question as regard to the appreciation of the document? Doon pa lang po tayo.
Okay
Ayan.
po.
So far, Sir Pa, wala pa? Wala pa? How about their learning? So, I made clear. Pero alam mo, sorry sa inyong nandyan sa room. Ang gulo ng inyong audio.
Yung audio nga ako, medyo may problema po kami sa
Oo,
audio.
yung audio ninyo ang medyo Oo. Ganyan talaga pag live, Ayan. Thank you, sir.
Yes po, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Thank you.
Sorry po, ma'am. May isa lang po kami with regards to resource management.
Eto, siguro po,
Ayan.
try po nating masuot. No.
Sige.
What is
Ayan,
policy of asset?
Sir, ayusin niyo muna audio niyo, sir. Hindi
Oo nga po
maintindihan.
eh. Sige po.
Sige, ma'am.
Dapat clear.
Later na lang po ba? Sige po, later na lang po.
Sige, later na lang pag naayos nyo ng audio nyo para mas maganda na. But then and again, I would like to say thank you sa aking sister Diane, si Sister Vera. Salamat, I miss you, Sisi. Thank you for the comments. Thank you, syempre. I miss you. Yan. So now, let us continue. Oh, ready pa ba tayong lahat? Sir Pao, patanong nga po sa kanila kung sila nandoon pa sa ating room. Are they still listening?
Yan.
Sige nga po.
Can we hear some or can we see your greetings po? At para po malaman po natin kung nandyan pa rin po kayo, ating 124 million na viewers. Nandyan po ba kayo? Maraming
Wow,
salamat
ang
po
dami.
ng good morning at still watching the po from their respective schools. And keep on coming po with regards to your greetings or questions po. Pagka po may naisip po yung question, nakikita naman po namin dito para po ma-update.
Ayan.
Thank you
Ayan,
po.
maraming salamat. Siguro, meron din ako, kasi nakakapagpasaya, di ba, kapag marami nakikinig pa rin, yung 124 na yan, merong nasa school na isa lang yung pinapanoodan nila, isa lang yung kanilang account na ginamit. Tama ako, Katulad doon sa kanina na nabanggit mo, Sir Pao, isa lang yung account, pero ang dami nilang mga naandun daw sa room. Di ba, So, thank you so much for listening. Ayan. Oo pa. Tapos, Sir Pao, while I am discussing, siguro pakiayos niyo ang inyong audio. Masakit talaga. Sorry talaga, masakit sa tenga. lalo na kung halimbawa ang mga kausap niyo katulad ko na lahat ay naka-headset. Talagang siguro, sorry, pero we need to fix all of those. Okay. So, let us continue. Ito na yung iniintay nyo. It's the orientation for the DOD process. Okay? So, ito yung task sa DOD. Paano ba nagdi-DOD? Paano ba nag-orient ng DOD process? Ulitin natin, ano ba yung DOD? It's the document analysis, observation, and discussion. Yun ang DOD, di ba? So, 1, the team will select the leader to direct the group in the conduct of the DOD, and the secretary, it could be the Sbm coordinator, to act as documenter or the process of observer. Siyempre, magpapatawag si principal. Select tayo ngayon ng leader. Sino ang mag-act as secretary? And the group will decide whether to use the whole or the part method. Pag whole method, all team members shall work as a group to validate one principle after another. Whole method yan. Ibig sabihin, ito po ay pwede doon sa mga kukunti lang ang mga teachers. May 8 to 10. Pwede silang mag-select ng leader for each principal, pero ang member ay the same group. Yan, pwede yan. Pero kung marami naman kayo, you can make use of the part method. Pwedeng per principal may 10, with the team lead or with the leader. Tapos, lahat sila may assignment. Pwede yon, kung part method. But of course, and nasa sa inyo po yon. And the group will decide. Kailan ba yung DOD na gagamitin? Yan. And then, ito yung isang activity na pwede nyong gawin. So, ibig sabihin po pala, ma'am, pag po pala nagkakaroon ng orientation, di ba, pag po pala nagkakaroon ng orientation, dapat po may activities, of course. Di ba gano'n naman yung lock session nga, meron eh. Yung nagpapamiting ka nga, meron eh, di ba? Meron muna, let us pray, let us bow our heads. So, gano'n din yon. So, ano yung major activities? So, ano yon? Una muna, meron ka siyempre invocation, welcome remarks, short PowerPoint presentation, although it's optional, pero it is suggested na mas magandang meron, lalo na kung ikay maraming teachers, katulad ng ginawa dito, kung nakikita niyo yung nasa picture, dahil during the validation, it's not only the team who will be asked. Hindi lang yung team ang kini-question diyan. Umiikot ang validators, tinatanong lahat. Kaya this is to avoid na merong isa kayong kasamahan na magsabing wala po kaming alam dyan, ang may alam lang po. So, paano naging school-based management? Ayan. So, para ma-inform ang everybody in your school, dapat meron tayong dapat ipinagkakaalam natin sila, and they will always be involved in the activity. Kung hindi man in the activity, at least on the process. Did you get the point? Ayan po yon. So, ayan, pwede din natin gamitin kung tayo magpapapasben. Pero kung hindi, ang ilalagay po natin ay SBM Level 3. Yan, ilalagay natin ganon. Okay? So, ano yung target? And then, ito na yon. Paano pa tayo magbabalidate? O, ganito mga kasama. Ito pinag-uusapan nyo yan during the orientation. Ito yung paano tayo magbabalidate. Step 1, syempre, para makuha natin yung 60%, ito yung atin dapat na isunod-sunod nahahanapin. Yan, ito, kinakailangan. Kasi nga orientation, so ipapaalam sa lahat yung mga proseso na inyong gagawin. Dapat veracity. Valid ba ang data? Ito ba coming from the planning officer? Accurate ba? O yung data natin, basta nag-compute ka ng sarili mo kasi yun ang gusto mo? O yan, hindi pwede yun, di ba? Ibinababa sa atin ang mga data, di ba? Okay. And then, ano pa? Yan, mag-assessment process na tayo. Ang kasunod po niyan, mag-assessment process tayo. Paano po ba yung gagawin nating assessment proper? Ito na po yan, classify and evaluate. Mag-evaluate po tayo na dapat po ay ito yung ating mga kailangan. Mag-gather po tayo and analyze. Magkakaroon po tayo ng summarization at the end. Kung kinakailangan po, sa bawat isa po sa inyo, per group, may consensus, yan. And then, conduct the proper. So, ibig sabihin, sa orientation, sinasabi mo yung mga dapat na gawin. Dapat na gawin. Kaya may orientation for the DOD process. Okay? Tapos, of course, hindi dapat mawala yung closure or exit conference. So, after po nito, dapat po may feedback, evaluation tayo, may giving of recommendation, may giving of commendation. And then report writing by the team. So, ito po yung mga ina-expect natin na dapat po natin maisaalang-alang after po ng ating orientation. Did you get it? So, napakasimple. Pero at least, napagkaalam mo, nasabi mo lahat sa kanila. Yan. This is how you are going to orient our mga kasamahan. Okay? So now, dapat system defined. Bakit ko sinabing system defined? Alamin, anong structure? Di ba? Ano yung mga behavior? Interconnectivity, parts of the process. Ano yung structure and behavior? Ano yung mga set of rules na nag-govern? Yan, dapat maayos tayo dyan. Ano pa? Pagdating naman sa validation, so nasabi mo na lahat yon. Nakapag-orient ka na, magba-validation na tayo mga kasama. Paano magko-conduct? Uunahin natin yung DOD, Document Analysis. Sasabihin nyo, no? So, ito, obtain and assemble all artifacts. So, kung ako si principal, you will not be telling me na kahit new normal ngayon, hindi kayo pumapasok. Di ba? May skeletal workforce tayo sa paaralan. So, yung mga naka-skeletal based on your awa, yun po, ito na yung gusto nyong marinig kanina. Based on your awa, yun po ang inyong ilagay na schedule, date for the teachers. Ano, para doon makakapag-assess sila ng kanilang mga documents. Yan. Did you get it? So, paano yun? Parang nagpapa-ISO lang. Gather all the artifacts. Alin dito yung mga hindi natin kasali? Separate. Alin yung mga kasali sama-samahin? For the year, this one. For this year, for this year. Kung hindi pa intact, kung hindi pa in place ang documents, sige nga po, sama-samahin natin ang documents for the 2017, documents for the 2018, and documents for the 2019-20. Did you get it? So, this is how are we going to go about the document analysis. And then, aalamin, ano yung mga artifacts na needed? Kompleto na ba tayo? Meron na ba tayo? Yan. Yan. So, dapat ito, yung meron na kayong nabuo dito, kasi doon sa orientation, nasabi nyo na, pati yung mga committee ninyo, di ba? Nasabi nyo na kung sino yung team lead, whole part or the whole or the part method. So, alam na nila ngayon kung ano yung dapat na meron silang i-prepare na documents. So, ano yung mga artifacts? Ito na nga yung sabi nating MOBs, artifacts, no? And then, so, may checklist ka. Check, 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 check. Yan. Pwede mong gamitin yan. So, sa document analysis, meron tayong dapat isaalang-alang na principles. Relevance ba? Yan. Accurate pa ba? Currency? Naku, ito nung unang panahon pa ni Kupong-Kopong. So, wag na natin siyang isali. Sabi ko nga, those years na nakatago pa sa inyo, wag nyo nang ilalagay doon sa years na tinatarget nyo. Gawin nyo na lang, i-archive nyo na lang ito or make it as your reference. Again, archive or reference. Yun po ang gagawin natin. Halimbawa, 2016-2017, hindi na yun ang target mo. So, gawin mo na lang siyang reference. Ano? Tapos, accurate. Accurate pa ba ito sa taong ito? Currency. Yan. Consistency. Sufficiency. Sufficient na ba lahat ang ating mga Okay. So, yan ang ating mga RACS principle. RACCS. Okay. So now, for the observation, document analysis yung una kanina, D, no? So now, it's the observation. Yan. Paano ba nag-observation? To obtain process evidence. Then, to validate if the documentary evidence gathered should focus on the learner-centered learning. Yan. Like cooperative, etc. Obtained by scrutinizing instructional leadership. Tingnan lahat. Management styles. Method, techniques. Yan. So now, ano pa? Observation. Ano yung methods to be used to verify the evidence? Yan. Magsa-saturation sampling ba tayo? O hindi na, kuhanin na lang natin lahat. Katulad ng ginagawa nila, no? And then, cross-validate natin to after, ha? Dapat titingnan mo din. Ako naka-assign dito sa number 1 indicator, ikaw naman sa number 2. Tingnan mo yun sa akin, ha? I-cross-validate mo, tama na ba yung nakalagay ko? Tapos, let us have the group discussion. So, para yung observation, hindi lang ikaw. Tama, di ba? Ikaw yung nag-iisip eh. Pag minsan nagsasalita ka na nga ng solo eh, para ma-obtain mo kung tama yung iyong ginawa o hindi, di ba? Okay. Ayan. So, discussion naman. Paano naman yung discussion? Ayan. So, itong observation na to, alam niyo, ito critical sa mga validators. Halimbawa, ako. Lahat kami sa regional office, pag kami bumaba, the first thing that we ask on the school is the principal present. Yan. Pag sinabing wala po dito, let's move on, ma'am. We are telling this to the division na partner namin. Ay, ma'am, let us go to another. Iniwan namin ang school. Why? Kasi in the validation, specifically during the validation, the principal should be present. Yan ang tatandaan. Kasi who will answer from principals 1 to 4, it's the principal. It's a no-no of our practice before na tawag si in charge ng principal 1 siyang sumagot dito. Tawag si principal to team lead at siyang sumagot dito. It's a no-no. During the validation, pag lang nagtanong na si validators na anyone among the group could answer, pag nagsabi siya ng ganon, ayan, that's the time na pwede. Pero pag ang tinatanong is the principal, kasi the principal is the actor during the validation. Yan, ano? Okay. So yan. Kaya yung sa observation, alam na namin yan lahat ng mga validators. Sino ba? Nag-work ba sila as a team? Nagbumuo ba sila ng ganito? Nagkaroon ba kaya sila ng group discussion? So lahat yan iniisa-isa. Okay? And for the discussion, yan, you can ask. Should be friendly, non-confrontational. You have to, yes, listen to their explanation. Verify if necessary and clarify if you have doubts. And always augment the evidence. Ayan, yung paulit-ulit na sinasabi nyo, talaga bang dapat may hard copy? Yan. Babalikan ko ulit ang sinabi ko. During the 2017, wala pang pandemic, hard copy pa tayo niyan. 2018, wala pa rin pandemic hanggang maging 2019. Tayo'y nasa normal. Kaya lahat, naka-documents yan. Okay? Ayan. And then, of course, school community members who were engaged in the collection and presentation of them should participate in the discussion. So, yan. Pag nagdi-discussion na, that's the time that the whole team pwede nang kasali. Pero, tatandaan na, ay, naku, hindi ako naniniwala dyan. Mali yung sinasabi mo. Kung hindi ka naniniwala, do not say, yes, tuwi ko ang validators. Even within your school, ay, naku, hindi mo yan ginawa, ha? Diba? Ma'am, parang nalito ka po. Hindi po natin yan ginawang proseso. Siguro po ay i-park po natin yan at yan po ang ating gawing ways forward. Diba? So, ibig sabihin ko, maganda yung inyong sistema. Walang awayan, walang sakitan ng loob. Ano? Okay. So, another, for the discussion, consensus arrives at a consensus. Hoy, tayong lahat, halimbawa, kami lahat ay nasa principal 1. Okay na ba sa inyo? Suffice na ba tayo? Augmented na ba ang lahat ng evidence natin for this indicator 1? Sasabihin ng isa, oy, ako hindi pa ako approve doon sa number 1 natin. Parang kulang pa. Hindi kasi natin na-provide ito. So, hindi muna natin siya checkan. Yes, dagdagan pa natin. So, ibig sabihin, consensus of who are in charge of that principle. Ano? Tapos, pag nagkaroon na kayo ng cross, ano? I-cross validate nyo na, anong gagawin? Nag-approve din ba sila? Pumayag din ba? Tapos nag-check mark? Ma'am, sabihin sa principal, ma'am, ito po, are you amenable now, mga ma'am and sir? Yan, consensus. Arrive at a consensus. And then continue the process until all 4 principles are assessed. Yan. So kung ang inyong naging proseso is, the first group will validate the second group. The second group will validate the fourth group. So, nasa sa inyo pa rin po yun. Ano? Kaya, laging paulit-ulit ni Ma'am Maybell, kinakailangan po, assessing the practices, integrative and versus non-integrative, kinakailangan po, kung ano po yung inyong proseso, yun po ang manaig sa inyong paaralan. At ano yung inyong sinusunod? It's the practice of your school. Okay? Yan. So, yan ang sa discussion. So, eto na, who conducts the DOD? It's the School Assessment Committee, the school initiated. And then the division requested by the school. Okay? Ayan. Uulitin ko ulit, may timeline ng division validators when to start and when to end the validation. Para aware ang 28 division when their assigned dates, kailan sila magpapa-assign para sa validation. Within that area, within that limit, within that period. So, alam nilang lahat yan. Diba na? Okay. So, no one among your school will say na, kahit pala hindi tayo magpa-validate kasi hindi ako susulat. Walang ganon. Kasi may restricted din yan. It's the division validators will write you a letter telling you, reminding you na the process of the validation will be from this day and to this day. May ganun ding mangyayari, no? Siyempre, pinakailangan ma-target natin is the 100% participation. Yan ang tatandaan natin. And who constitute the assessment committee? It's the leader with secretary. For subcommittees, for principals, yan. At ito naman, suggestion lang, ayan, 4 to 5 members or 7 to 10 members. Ayan, okay? So, nasa sa inyo po yan. The DOD operational principles, ayan, may principles din ng DOD, no? Collaboration, ayan, hindi pwedeng mawala. Transparency, open, di ba, no? Confidentiality, yan. Okay. The next one is validity, yan. Reform-oriented, principle-oriented. Yan. Hindi na natin iisa-isahin, alam na alam yun na. And of course, at the end of the day, may recognition and awards. You will receive the what we call certification. I know that the Santa Rosa is giving the certification of the level 3 na nakapasa na sa level 3. No? So, ayintayin natin kapag nag-level 3, sa laka lang pala kami may certification. Siyempre naman, para din yung honor, hindi ibinibigay ang lahat ng honor sa lahat. Pinipili siyempre the best. Yan. Rewards, ayan yung mga rewards natin for the accreditation. Pwede kang priority in scholarship. And of course, coming up, sa merit system, PBB, di ba? No? Tinitingnan anong level ka na ba. Yan. Okay? And then, siyempre, malapit na ang PBB, pero ang pinakamalapit is our clothing allowance. Narinig niyo siguro yun kahapon. This coming April. Yan. So, these are the recommendations, but only a recommendation. There should be an option for school for the enrollment rate whose enrollment decreased due to the opening of nearby school. Maximize the LIS to validate the claim, and SDO process observer should validate and SDS to certify. So, this is for those whose school are having the school within the area nearby, yung may mga doon sa inyo, na bumababa yung reason na kung bakit bumababa yung enrollment. Pwedeng yung SDOPO magbigay ng recommendation to the SDS para ma-certify na talaga yun ang reason. Pero hindi ibig sabihin na dahil bumaba at may kalapit kang school, magkakaroon ka ng plus sa enrollment. Hindi yon. So, ito lang is for our security or for the purpose of not be stressing ourselves na, Diyos ko, ako yung principal lagi na lang bumababa. Para hindi ka naman ma-stress kasi you cannot avoid some of the things happening around. Kaya, pwede yung certification will really your weapon, your patotoo na ikaw ay talagang bumababa because of that reason. Okay, uulitin ko lang uli, hindi naman ibig sabihin plus ka na sa enrollment. May plus, hindi yon. Another recommendation, pwede hindi na natin gamitin yung cohort survival rate or the completion rate because they are more of the SDO level indicators. Pwedeng i-consider ang graduation promotion rate instead, just retain simple dropout kung ito ay policy ng division. Yan, may kung ako, So, pag sinabi ng division na, so, retain tayo kung ano yung dati natin ginagawa. So, yan pa rin yun. Sino yung, kanina to manggagaling? Siyempre kay Chief Kinga, James, at ipapa-approve sa SDS na yun ang inyong gagamitin. Pero pag sinabi nga nilang same pa rin tayo, yun pa rin yung dati natin. Yun pa rin yun. Okay? So, for the quality, napag-usapan na natin ito during the 2017, 18, 19, 19, 20, ang ginagamit natin ay pwedeng not, pwede din namang periodic, o kaya pwedeng achievement test, depende din sa inyong policy ng inyong division. Diba? Because not all of our students are taking the test, the National Achievement Test, and not of all of them, yung lahat ng mga nasa schools ay nagtitake ng NAP. Diba, no? And of course, on the 4 SBM principles, since the assessment evaluates existing cultural strategy, it is highly recommended to be further utilized. Kasi ito po yung applicable to any typology. Yan. So, maliit na school, malaking school, malayong school, malapit na school, iisa lang po ang pag-assess ng ating SBM level of rank. Okay? So I would suggest na pag focus po kayo sa inyong documents at nakuha ninyo yung 40%, nakuha niyo yung quality, nakuha niyo yung efficiency, medyo bumaba lang kayo sa dropout at sa enrollment, tiyak na tiyak ko po na kayo ay nasa level 3. Yan, ano? So, maging maingat lang po tayo on how to appreciate the documents and really put efforts and time in the appreciation of the documents and putting all the documents in place. Tiyak na tiyak ko po makukuha niyo ang inyong level 3 of practice. Okay? Ayan. So, these are an example na assigned tasks and this is only an example of your activities, your timetable for your activities. Sana lahat may ganun, ano? And at the end of the day, what qualifies people to be called leaders is their capacity to influence others, to change their behavior in order to achieve important results. Diba na? Pagdating man ng panahon, pagdating ng katapusan ng araw o at the end of the day, ang pinakang nagka-qualify to become a good leader. Diba? At para masabing ikaw ay leader, yung capacity natin to influence others. Ano? To change their behavior in order to achieve important results. Sometimes kasi nalilimutan natin na pag tayo bilang namumuno at tayo ang siyang nanghina sa ating system, ano? Tayo yung biglang nawalan ng lakas. Tingnan ninyo, ang ating mga kasamahan, ganun din sila. Ano? An example, nasabihin ni principal na, ay, anong gumawa kasi wala tayong documents, huwag na lang. O, di sasabihin din ng iyong mga kasamahang kaguruan, no? Ay, wag daw, sabi ni Sir. Wag daw, sabi ni Ma'am. Diba, no? Samantalang, mga kasama, let's do it and we can make it. Diba, no? Yung wala, i-provide natin. Yung wala, uli, baka the following year, meron na tayo. Ano? Let's have it. Diba, no? And, of course, syempre, nasa ating pamumuno yun. So that, we will be achieving the important results that we wanted in our system. Okay? Yan. And ito yung mga challenge ko sa inyo. Ano, this is not to deprive the person but to leave him better off in the end. Ano, ito yung 5 things. Model the change that they want to see. Ano, being the school leader. Model the change. Ikaw yung manguna. Ipakita mo. Ikaw yung maging modelo sa lahat ng mga pagbabago. Ano, tingnan ninyo, we are not expecting this kind of pandemic. We are not expecting that we will be experiencing this kind of havoc in our lives. But then and again, patuloy ang buhay kasi ito tayo, public servant. Diba, no? So, model the change. And the second, show that you understand the value that already exists. Ipapakita natin na this is what is happening now. Ano? Show that understand the value. Ano? Wala tayong magagawa. Ano? So, but then and again, ang ating concern is for our children, for our learners to learn and be learned. Diba? And then the third one, tell the stories. Tell the stories. Ito yung kanina ko pa sinasabi. So that you will be coming up your good story at the end of the day. Diba, no? Tell stories. Ano? Tingnan ninyo ang mga experience na kinikwento ko sa inyo. Ang mga example na kinikwento ko sa inyo is an example, is an experience of mine when I was the school principal. Ano? Okay, and even the district supervisor. So now, bring it back to the learners. Ano? Yung story na yon, lagi, bring it back to the learners. And get your people excited and then get away of the way. Diba, no? Sometimes kasi nalilimutan natin na, hindi naman tayo robot. Ano, are you a robot? Yes, of course not. Ano, na pag minsan syempre medyo hindi tayo naka-heightened, ano, hindi tayo naandun sa pinaka-peak ng ating excitement. Pero pag papasok tayo kasi naka-plan tayo, 'di ba, ano? Laging get your people excited. Ano? This is what I'm going to do. Ano? Okay. So, pag nakuha natin lahat ng ito, of course, anong pinaka-total nito is the level 3 of the SBM level of practice. Ano? Okay. So, meaning to say, the weaknesses and the strength are being resolved, pinagsama, pero at the end of the day, being resolved and has the solution at meron ding interventions. Diba na? Okay. So, sana, 28 divisions, at least 20, 28 schools in the division, at least 20 maka-level 3. Kakayanin Kakayanin, sasabihin nyo sa akin. Hindi. Ano, ayoko ng word na kakayanin. Ang word dapat is gagawin. Yan. Ano, the word should be gagawin. Okay? So now, in DepEd, ayan, kayo na ang bumasa. Ayan. And through ACCAs, we sail every child to reach his final destiny. And so, from me to yours, start the connection coming from your heart. Know your teachers, know your stakeholders, know all of them, not coming from your mind. Dahil ito yung gusto ko, ito ang gagawin ko. No. Start the connection coming from your heart. Okay? So, it's me, Doc Maybell, saying thank you, Santa Rosa City Division. Maraming salamat po. Yay! Hello.
Hello po, thank you po, Mabel.
Thank you so
Ayan,
much.
sorry po, nag-ayos po kami ng aming computer. Okay na po ba yung aming audio, ma'am?
Yeah, okay na.
Ayan,
Yeah.
thank you po.
Again, so I would like to say thank you, Ma'am SDS, Ella, my very good friend and classmate during the Seneo. Ako yung kanilang basta may mga kwento kaming napakaganda during the time. Thank you, Sir Lindo. Napaka-humble and accommodated. And of course, Sir James. Si Sir James Pina. Sir James, hindi ko naririnig ang boses mo. So to all of you who are present today, I hope you have a very fruitful day yesterday and today. So it's me again, your partner in the regional office, saying Doc Maybell, saying thank you so much.
Thank you rin po, Mabel.
Yes, maraming salamat din po, Miss Mabel. So, kung may mga questions po kayo, nandito pa po si Ma'am Mabel. Let's just read po some of the comments po from our audience po. So, ayan. Thank you po for a great lecture, Ma'am Mabel. I really learned a lot. Outstanding from Ma'am Leah Ramos po.
From
Leah, thank you.
Ayan po.
Ito. Si Ma'am Joy Carriaga of Labas Elementary School. So thank you daw po, ma'am, for a great discussion po.
Yes, thank you, Ma'am Joy.
Ito naman po, from one of our EPSS, Ma'am Edwina Nabo. Thank you and stay safe lagi daw po, Ma'am Mabel.
Hello, Ma'am. Kita din tayo. Sayang, sana nasa face-to-face tayo, Ma'am Nabo. Ayan.
We're just
we shared our experiences din.
We're just reading po some of the comments, pero you can ask questions po, ha. Habang wala lang pong questions, basahin lang po namin yung mga pa-thank you po ng ating audience.
Sige, sir.
Ayan, from Sir Alson Ray Luna, thank you for the enlightenment you have shared to us, which will set the direction for our SDO and to my cluster. Ayan, with our
hello,
from
sir.
our yes po.
Doc Alson, I heard it's your birthday today.
Yes po.
Happy birthday! Yan, ito pa rin yan. Yan ay laging mameda. Hello. Hindi nawawala ang smile sa kanyang mga, labi sa akin.
Yes po.
Okay. So, sa technical assistance na tayo because I think Sir Adraw is already on the backstage po, Ms. Mabel. So we will now proceed po to our technical assistance po. Okay.
So yung questions po, pwede na po tayo magtanong din. Andiyan din po si Sir Adraw. Kung matandaan po, yung questions po natin na na-harvest ay mostly na i-discuss naman na po. So kung meron man po dito na hindi pa, ay di babalikan lang po ulit namin mamaya. Pero for the meantime po, just keep on asking your questions po through our chat box po para po ma-address na po natin. Since nandito na po ulit ang ating isa sa speakers, Sir Adraw po.
Hello. Hello, my friend Eugene. Ayan. I'm very lucky to have my partner, Mr. Eugene, in the regional office.
Okay po, sir. We're just waiting po for the questions po. Ayan. So,
Parang wala
Or
namang
wala pang questions.
nagke-question.
Siguro sobrang linaw na ng na-discuss ni ma'am talaga. Kaya wala na pong questions. Actually po, medyo nawala po kami for 10 minutes or 8 minutes yata pag-aayos po ng aming audio. Kaya hindi po namin talaga nasubaybayan yung naging discussion. Pero siguro sobrang linaw na po ng ating napag-usa or nang na-discuss ni ma'am. Kaya po wala po masyadong questions.
Yan, we are just saying po some thank you po and ayan po. So, ayan po, thank you. And
Ito, kay Doc Jer.
ayan, okay po. So, we'll just show some comments po of
Hi,
thanks.
Sir Jen! Dr. Jen!
Okay, so, ayan si Dr.
Ay, ayun na rin po si Sir Alba.
Hi,
Doc
good
Alba,
morning
ayun po.
everyone.
Po.
Ayan.
Ayan, so since complete na po tayo dito, we will call again our education program supervisor, Ma'am Marisol Saginsin.
Okay, good morning, Chief Alba, Dr. Adrao, and Doc Mabel. So we will have our technical assistants today. So all the school heads, all the SBM coordinators are now allowed to ask questions through chat box po. So it is really very rare to have the complete set of the expert from the region. So let's take the opportunity for us to pause and chat our questions. They are all ready to answer your questions. Mhm. So let me read some prepared questions po. So from Miss Mariel Y. Castillo, does it need to be 100% of the SBM MOBs to pass a certain level, most especially is in level 3?
Sir, ay,
Ah,
hello, Ma'am Maricel. Siguro, yan po ay question before the discussion.
Opo,
I
yes po.
discussed it. Siguro po, wag na natin banggitin yung mga questions na alam natin namang nasagot na so that hindi na po paulit-ulit. Ano, ma'am?
Okay
I
po.
already discussed it clearly and heard it by the 28 divisions. Yan po ay questions during your survey question during and before this training. Kaya siguro po ay huwag na nating banggitin yung ano.
Okay po, Doc Mabel. Okay po. So,
yes, permission to speak.
yes po,
Yeah,
Doc Michael.
regarding with our validation and assessment of SBM, the documents kasi is the 40%. All right? It's very easy to document those things, but we have also to consider the 60%, which is really pertinent in the uh, in the SBM level of practice. At the same time, intensifying the stakeholders. So in this sense, as made mentioned by Dr. Abrancilio, that all the inquiries regarding with the SBM assessment, we have already issued the regional memorandum regarding the matter, and even the computation, all the legal basis that pertains to SBM level of practice and assessment can be read on that particular issuances po. And of course, it underwent validation with the SBM coordinators in the last previous year, and hopefully that it will really answer the questions of our school heads pertaining to the implementation of the said issuance. Thank you.
Thank you po, Doc Alba, for that.
Ma'am Maricel,
Po.
hello, Ma'am Maricel, can we see Sir James Kingat on the screen also? Para naman po kasama natin siya.
Yes, Doc Mabel. It just happened that Chief Jesse J. Kingat is now in bidding.
Okay. Sige.
Together with the ASBS and SDS, they are all in the SDS office because there's a bidding ongoing po. So he really wanted to syempre po makasama po kayo but magkatapat po sa schedule.
Yeah, he's also attending the policy seminar
The
today.
policy.
Yes,
I saw
from
him
the
na.
region. Actually, is doing two tasks at the same time po,
Yeah.
bidding and attending the regional ano po. As he texted me a while ago po. Because we really wanted him to
Just,
be
just
okay. So
extend
there's a
him
question here
our,
po from
uh,
our principal po. So Sir Jonas Alban. So his question is, do we have or can we have a copy of pro forma of the Constitution of bylaws of the SGC as stated in the SGC manual?
Yes, definitely. You can download the manual po. It's in the website of DepEd, Department of Education. You just download it po at the same time. It's already made constitution. All you have to do is just to indicate the name of the school and of course the list of the members of the school governing council po.
Okay po. So, thank you, Sir Jonas Alban, for that question. So, some other questions from the school heads and SBM coordinators. So, you can have your questions now. Okay. So, we have the sets. Okay. So, wait po. As well as comprehensive and detailed lecture from yours. Thank you po for the enlightened direction of SBM in our school. So it truly shows na talaga pong na-satisfy natin ang lahat ng participants with this kind of webinars. So it's just one day, no? Considered one day, yesterday and today. Pero ang tingin ko po ay napakalinaw po, ano po. So, nanghihingi po si Sir Malapitan, Principal 1 from elementary, ng isang comprehensive and detailed lecture if you will allow us.
What was the question, ma'am?
Kung po pwede daw pong makahingi ng lecture po.
A PowerPoint? We do not provide PowerPoint presentation. All you have to do is to review your YouTube presentation.
Yeah. Thank you, Chief Alba. I knew that, no? Kasi the very first time I am asking for a PowerPoint presentation, you told me na hindi po talaga kayo nagbibigay. But still, I have to read the comment on the chat box. So, thank you, Chief Alba, for that. So, another questions?
hello, Ma'am Maricel. Is the permission to speak?
Yes po, Doc Maybell.
Sayang naman yung discussion na ginawa namin. kung kung bibigay pa namin at uulitin, 'di ba? Yung presence namin yesterday and today shows that we really wanted everyone, 'di ba? To really
Yes
learn
po.
from us. And
Yes
yun na
po.
nga po yung hinihingi namin kahapon na you should give us your listening skills. Ano? We are enhancing your listening skills by this time para po makuha nyo at mapag-usapan natin ang lahat how to really appreciate, how to make this SBM level of practice leverage in your respective schools na through listening po and jotting down of your notes there, makakakuha na po kayo ng isang napakagandang lecture niyan. Ano po?
Yes po. Absolutely correct po, Doc Maybell. So, alam po namin na napakaganda naman po ng naganap na webinar, ano po. So, and they are all guided with Regional Memo number 53 Series 2021-2. So, pwede naman po naming maging guide yun, though, even without the presentation. So, na-appreciate po namin talaga yan. So, we have also Ma'am Leda. Since all the principles were discussed explicitly, our job now is to assess what we are to prepare. Whatever MOBs, whatever MOBs we have. So
Yes.
that's the statement of Ma'am Leda, Principal 4 of Central 1. So, yun po yung sabi nila. Discuss explicitly. So, wala na po talagang
Thank you,
question
Ma'am Leida.
kay Ma'am Leida. Isa po yan sa napaka all out po pagdating po sa SBM. So ngayon po ay sabi nga it's data driven as he chat me tonight, no? Sabi niya po is naka-data driven naman daw po lahat ng kanilang mga MOBs and
Yes.
accomplishments. Okay po. So some other, so we have from Ma'am Cristina Pegolio. So also principal from Sinalhan Integrated High School. So I think Sir Lawrence is not requesting but praising the lecture of Doc Mabel. So correct me if I'm wrong, no? So yun yung ano kanina. So ang gusto lang daw po ni Sir Lawrence Malapitan, he is not requesting for a PowerPoint presentation. So he is just praising the lecture of Doc Mabel. So that's it.
Thank you, sir.
So,
Thank you,
pwede
sir.
lang po
Thank you, sir. And thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, that's according to Ma'am Cristina Pegolio
Oo
po.
nga. Mabuti na lang si Ma'am Christina aware dun sa ano. Thank you, Ma'am Christina. And thank you, Sir Malapitan.
Yes. And we have another one from one of our PSDS. So thank you so much to all the speakers, but for untiring support and for the comprehensive discussions on SBM. So the word comprehensive. With this, our school will refresh and we are looking forward to level 3. So, napakabuti po ng Diyos. Ano po? Napakabuti ni Lord. Because, nabigyan niyo po kami ng pagkakataon. Alam ko po, medyo nakukulitan po kayo sa akin, Chief Alba. But still, so thank you for the effort, Doc Mabel. Actually, hindi lang po ang buong Santa Rosa ang nagiging masaya because others are asking for the recordings of this YouTube live from other division. So, we are very thankful to have you here today and yesterday. So, another is from Dr. Alson Ray Luna, a celebrant. So, this webinar made us realize to define our best practices, which contribute to the realization of the goals of the SDO. Kudos to all the resource speakers. So, that's it po, no? So that's
Is
from...
there permission to speak?
Yes po, Chief Alba. Yes po.
Ma'am, pwede promise na SD po Santa Rosa level 3.
Hello?
Level 3.
Level 3, yes po. We will work for that. Actually, I'm just 3 months as Division SBM Coordinator. And for 3 months, syempre po, gusto ko po lagi po tayong ma-meet natin yung mga namimit din naman po ng iba. So, we are really planning to have this level 3, no po, so that we can join for this July Sbm Spree in the regional. Because it is your project. So, if it is your project, if it is your program, that is also our project and that is also our program. So, syempre po, gusto po namin makakomply din po kami sa inyo.
We will be helping your division po to come up with more SBM level 3 practice kasi the region has set 80% of the totality of the regional office itself. So kaya-kaya natin ma-meet ang target natin.
Yes
Tama
po,
ba,
through your
Mabel?
help and through your guidance. Siyempre po, lagi naman po kayo nandyan. So talaga pong kailangan po namin kayo sa level 3 po natin para at least lahat po ng division in Laguna, meron po talagang maka-level 3 po. So, we have from Dr. Irma S. Jamon, my former principal in Balibago Integrated High School. So, she said, thank you so much for the very comprehensive discussions. So, it is our first time daw po kasi na magkaroon ng webinars and technical assistance na talaga pong nandito po kayo at nakaharap po kayo sa amin. So, marami naman pong technical assistance and webinars, pero medyo... Hello po, Doc Maybell.
Anong nangyari? Nawala lahat.
Hello po.
Yan, we're on, we're live again.
Okay. So, questions po from our school heads and PSDSS to all the validators, SBM coordinators. Let us take the opportunity that we have the complete sets of the, kumbaga, behind the scene, no? Expert sa SBM po.
Siguro wala na, Ma'am Maricel, ano?
Yes po, we have, I just comment the speaker po. So, is speaker. Tama po si Ma'am Chi
Thank
Pigolio.
you, sir. Thank you,
Yan.
sir Malapitan. Thank you.
Okay. So, mukha pong wala na pong magtatanong. So, alam ko po na marami pa po kayong mga so let us have again the MCs for the facilitation for this presentation of certificates po.
Okay po. While waiting po for the certificates po kasi we're just opening po our Google Drive po since we changed po our laptop para po wala yung kaninang audio na medyo feedback. But we always say thank you po to all our resource speakers for joining us for this 2-day webinar. Actually, 1 day lang po sana, pero dahil nga po may mga ibang pangyayari, salamat pa rin po dahil nandito pa rin po kayo to guide us with all our endeavors when it comes to SBM po. So, we're really targeting po to get that level 3. So, with your guidance po, with all the technical assistance that we had for the past 2 days, talagang masisigurado na po ng mga school ang kanila pong preparation para po sa level 3. So may mga kahapon, may mga nag-commit na po mga school, although hindi daw po sila makapag-comment sa ating chat box, but they're committing their schools po to have the level 3 para sa SBM practice po nila. Okay na tayo, Ma'am Kat?
Okay na, Sir Pao. I'll just share po the PowerPoint presentation. Okay. So, let's move on na po sa ating presentation of certificates to the speaker. Again po, we would like to thank all of the speakers po today from our region po. So here, we will just read po the citation. So, Certificate of Appreciation. This certificate is awarded to Dr. Eugenio Esadrao, Education Program Supervisor, RFTAD, in recognition of his meritorious service rendered as facilitator during the Sbm Spree series of webinar and technical assistance in the new normal conducted in the Schools Division of Santa Rosa City on March 24, 2021, given this 24th or 25th day of March in the year of our Lord 2020. Signed, our Schools Division Superintendent, Ma'am Manuela S. Tolentino Sesopay. So,
Thank you po, Sir Eugene. Are you still there po? Can we show you po in our screen? Ayan na. Okay. Anyway, nandyan naman po siya kanina. So, sir, we'll just send you the copy po of your certificate po. Next is the certificate of appreciation for our next speaker or second speaker, Dr. Michael Gerard Alba. So thank you po, Sir Alba, for always being with us. Marami na pong beses namin kayo nakasama sa GAT, sa iba pa pong mga seminar, at ngayon po sa SBL. So thank you po ulit, sir.
Thank you so much. Allow me to thank, of course, in behalf of our former regional director, R.D. Wilfredo E. Cabral, and of course, our new regional director, Mr. Francis Bringas. We would like to congratulate and to thank SDO Santa Rosa for conducting this SBM. Of course, as SDO Santa Rosa headed by our SDS Manuela Tolentino. Maraming salamat po. ASDS Ernesto D. Lindo, and of course, the CID Chief, Madam Aluina Afren. Of course, our SGOD Chief, Chief Jesse James Kayat, and of course to all the APSS, PSDSS who are present today, our school heads, our fellow public servants, and of course to you po sa ating mga hosts, and to Mama Maricel, maraming salamat po sa inyo from the bottom of my heart, our hearts in the Field Technical Assistance Division. Maraming salamat. And congratulations for the success of this activity. God bless everyone.
Thank you po, sir. God bless din po. Next, of course, the certificate of appreciation for Dr. Andrea Mabel E. Abrencillo. Ma'am, thank you po ulit for coming up with a great discussion for the past 2 days. Hello po ulit, ma'am.
Maraming salamat ulit. Salute sa Santa Rosa Division. Don't worry, marami naman mga access. Kung meron pang katanungan, pwede naman tayo mag-chat para matulog natin at matulungan. Kasi what we are trying to really come up from the Santa Rosa City is the best SBM level 3 of practice. At least 20 of the 28 schools in the division of Santa Rosa would really have the level 3 level of SBM practice. Maraming salamat at magandang umaga. Ingat tayong lahat. God bless.
God bless din po, ma'am. Salamat po. Stay safe po lagi. And of course, our last speaker, yung kahapon po with regards sa MOE, si Ma'am Marites L. Gloria, Chief Administration Officer for Finance Division. So, siguro nasabi na rin po nandiyan ba si ma'am? Wala, no? So,
and thank you po again to all our speakers. And now, for the inspirational message, we will now call on Dr. Lucinia M. Ofren, our Chief Education Supervisor for SCAPE. Napadala na lang din po ng video si ma'am because she also have
Isang mapagpalang araw po sa ating lahat, higit lalo sa ating mabutihing ina ng sangay, Dr. Manuela S. Tolentino, sa atin pong ASDS, Mr. Ernesto D. Lindo, sa kapwa ko hepe sa hepe ng SGOD, Mr. Jesse James Kingat, sa mga puno ng mga paaralan, sa mga schools, SBM coordinators, sa bumubuo ng validating teams ng ating SDO, at higit sa lahat sa ating Regional Field Technical Assistance Team sa pumumuno ng ating Regional EPTAD Chief, Sir Michael Gerald Alba. Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Truly, SDO Santa Rosa City is very grateful and blessed for having this activity, the provision of technical assistance in the new normal from the regional team. It is indeed very timely for us in the SDO to be given technical assistance so that we will be directed to the right path on the proper implementation of the SBM. Session 1 was about SBM under the new normal, which was discussed by Sir Eugene Adrao, made us realize that our first and foremost priority is our commitment to learners. It is true that even in these rough days and rough times that we are experiencing the health crisis for more than 1 year, learning has to continue. That's why the regional office, as he mentioned, provided us the needed skills, knowledge, and tools to make us more equipped and fully armed in the battlefield for the learning to continue or learning to happen. He also emphasized the need for kamustahan, not only for the learners or for the parents or learning facilitators, but most especially to our dear teachers who are our frontliners in delivering the quality education. SBM in the new normal should be embodied with compassion and dedication in order to make our school environment lighter in midst of pandemic. From the session which was discussed by the Chief of the Regional EPTAD, Sir Michael Gerald Alba, regarding retuning and operationalization of SBM in the better normal and intensifying the school governing councils, we can now strengthen our SGC given their roles and responsibilities as well as their limitations in the organization and how they can be of great help to our school's operations. We are also enlightened on the proper operations of SBM, its core principles aligned into new normal. While in the very exciting and interesting and very comprehensive topics delivered by Ma'am Mabel Albrencillo about enhancing the competencies of division validators in terms of identifying the needed artifacts to each of the indicators in the assessment tool and on assessing the components of performance indicators as well as the DOD made us to really determine the needed and essential artifacts in each indicator for every principle. Minsan sa ating school, nahihirapan tayong mag-determine, mag-classify, mag-identify ng mga artifacts na naaangkop sa bawat indicator, sa loob ng bawat principle. Dahil sa maayos na pagpapaliwanag ng ating resource speaker, ngayon ay naunawaan natin at maisasagawa na natin ito ng madali at naaayon sa dapat na kategorya. Kadalasan din, madaming nagagawa sa paaralan ng mga activities at programs, projects na sa tingin nila ay ordinaryo lamang na gawain na nanakalikdaan na nilang gawa ng dokumento na siya namang napakahalaga na ebidensya na magagamit sa assessment ng SBM. Gaya nga ng sabi ni Ma'am Mabel na may kwento na hindi na idrawing. At isa pang mahalaga sa kanyang sinabi na dapat nating tandaan, maaring mag-contextualize base sa pangangailangan ng paaralan. Sa DOD process, Document Analysis, Observation, and Discussion, isang pamamaraan kung saan lahat ng ating mga practices, mga programs and projects and activities ay dapat na nakadokumento ay iaanalisa isa-isa ng validating team at susundan ng pagtingin ng aktwal o isang observation kung ano talaga ito isinasagawa at matapos makita ay dapat itong pag-usapan ng lahat ng nauukol dito at kung ano ba ang talagang nakaayon sa principle at kung anong artifacts na ito ay ang artifacts na ito ay nakaangkla sa inaasahang indicators. Dahil sa malinaw na pagtatalakay ni Ma'am Mabel, maari nang gawin ngayon ng mga school sa school level na maisaayos ang bawat programa, maihanda ang angkop na MOBs. With the use of issued Regional Memorandum Number 53 Series of 2021 and the Memorandum in Revised APAT, which is Assessment Process and Tools, we are now guided on how to do it properly. Even the validating competencies were clearly discussed so that the validating team can perform their task correctly using the SBM scoring matrix for each indicator and how to appreciate the different artifacts presented. Naipaliwanag din ng mahusay ng hepe ng finance ng region na si Ma'am Marites Gloria kung papaano ang wastong paggamit ng school MOOE, pati na rin ang mga updates na naaayon dito. Natalakay din niya ang mga DepEd issuances or DepEd orders na nakaangkla para dito. Natugunan din niya ang mga tanong na ibinigay ng ating mga participants para nang sa ganoon maisiayos natin ito at magamit natin ang MOE ng nararapat. In totality, the endeavor of this is very productive and meaningful. We were enlightened with so many things. We learned a lot from the experts of SBM. We are truly very fortunate that through them, we are now armed with many insights and knowledge that we can utilize for better SDO Santa Rosa City. As Ma'am Ella's acronyms for SBM as S for the school leaders with perspective and compassion who can diverse to any aspect, for B as brilliant school leaders, and M for managers who leads the school in directing the right road. We have also the old saying during the time that I was the SBM coordinator of the division. SBM stands for sa bata mabubuhay, sa bata mamamatay. But now, in the new normal, we can say that SBM is sama-samang balikatin, batahin ang mga mag-aaral. Why balikatin? Why batahin? Because in our current situation, school leaders, teachers, as well as the SDO personnel need to strengthen patience, dedication, commitment for the learners to embrace the new normal system of education. With all of that, all of us here in SDO Santa Rosa City are now committed to level up, raise the bar of our SBM practice. Never stop learning because life never stop teaching. Thank you very much and mabuhay po tayong lahat.
Thank you to our CID chief for a very inspiring message, no? So napaka-siksik, liglig, umaapaw ang mensahe mula sa dating reyna ng SBM in SDO Santa Rosa City. We really appreciate your inspirational message, ma'am. So to end, um, in behalf of our ASDS, Sir Ernesto Lindo, na nasa bidding po ngayon. So, let me read this message. So, we began the successful virtual training by thanking the Lord. And we should end this by again thanking Him for all the blessings and protections from the unseen enemy. To all the people who became part of this training, I fully appreciate your efforts. To all the educators, your time and knowledge to still meet our mission in providing quality education to the Filipino people, especially to the Rosnian learners. We will never get tired of facing challenges amidst pandemic because we have everyone here. Our unity to still meet the requirements of this department in implementing the different innovations. I would like to express my deepest gratitude as well as to the Office of Dep and Calabarzon to have people in this training who unselfishly shared their expertise in this division. I, together with the school's division superintendent, Dr. Manuela Estolentino is looking forward to be with you again in the future for whatever modern challenges in education this pandemic will bring to us. Thank you so much to everyone, and God bless us all.
Okay, so maraming salamat po, Ma'am Maricel, and to all the people behind this successful webinar. Okay, so before we end po this webinar, we will just present po our evaluation link. Wait lang po ah. Okay. And so make sure po na makakapag-evaluate po tayo sa bit.ly/Sbm Spree 2021. Okay, so maraming salamat po ulit sa lahat ng ating mga school heads, mga teachers, mga non-teaching personnel po na nakasama natin. Okay.
Ayan, so yun ang kat. It has been a very fruitful webinar. So it was supposed to be 1 day, but since eto nga, inabot tayo 2 days, we just like to thank everyone who participated and stay tuned until the end. Thank you po, and we'll see you in your respective schools po as we move on to all our preparations until the validation day will come. So yun po. Maraming salamat po. We'll see you again next time po. God bless po and stay safe.
Thank you po. Stay safe po to all.